my name's Lydia. I'm from Cotton Candy Fabrics, and today I'm going to show you how to make this wet bag. So wet bags are really popular right now. They are essentially a bag that is lined with a waterproof material so that you can use it for cloth diapering. You can use it for trips to the beach or swim lessons. They're great to hold anything that you don't want to get wet. A lot of people also like using them as protective bags. You can use them for your camera. You can use them sometimes if you have the right size tablet or computer. Anything that you just want to protect. A lot of people also use them for baby carriers. This will fit most of the standard and toddler size baby carriers. So let's get started. Okay, so for the materials you're going to need just a few things. The fabric I'm going to be using is this equestrian fabric from Camelot. So you're going to need to cut this 15 inches in width and 18 inches in height. And then those exact same measurements for your interfacing and also for your lining, which since this is going to be a wet bag, you're going to want to use PUL, which is a waterproof or a water-resistant material. It has a coating of polyurethane laminate, which makes the material essentially like a waterproof barrier. So you're going to need that. You're going to need the fabric to make your strap, which is 4 inches by 18 inches. What you can also do is you can also use an 18-inch strip of webbing, either one if you want it to match your bag or if you want it to be quicker, whichever one you have handy, and also a 14-inch zipper. Okay, so now I'm just going to iron the interfacing onto the main fabric, the one that we're going to put on the outside. So what you want to do is put your fabric with the right side down and then get your interfacing. And what you'll notice with the interfacing is that there are two sides. There's a rough side and a smooth side. The rough side is textured and that actually has the glue on it. So you're going to want to make sure you put the rough side down facing your fabric so that it adheres when you iron it. And now you're just going to want to do the same thing to the other fabric. Okay, so now that we have both of our outside fabrics lined with the interfacing, we're going to want to just set those aside. And now we're going to, since I'm going to show you how to make the strap, we're going to want to iron it so that we can make sure that the strap's not only strong, but also it doesn't have any seams or edges showing. So what you want to do is fold it in half first. Iron it all the way down. And then you'll want to unfold it and fold in the two sides right to the middle seam. And like I said earlier, if you don't want to do this, you're more than welcome to use a webbing. That'll be nice and strong and it'll definitely be quicker. But if you want it to match, or if you don't have any webbing lying around, because you don't always have webbing, the fabric is definitely a good choice. So that's what you'll want to do. Fold in the two edges just like that, and then when you fold it back in half, you'll see we have our strap now. So all we'll have to do is sew around the edges, but this will give you the basic idea of what the hand strap will look like. Okay, so now we're going to want to assemble our first zipper sandwich. So what you need to do is get your pull fabric. Make sure you have the protected side up. So you'll notice on pull that there's a fuzzy side and then there's like a waxy feeling side. The waxy plasticky side is the side you're going to want up. Then you're going to get your zipper, place it on top, and then line up the edges. So take the edge of the zipper and the edge of the pull fabric and just line those up like that. And then you're going to take your fabric that you already applied the interfacing to and put that right side down and line up that edge as well. So you can see it's right side down. Line up that same edge with the edge of the zipper and the pull. And then what you're going to want to do is just put pins all the way across the top. Okay, so now that we have everything pinned up, let's take it over to the machine and sew it up. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is just sew right along the edge where everything is overlapping, and this will secure our zipper in place on half of the fabric. Just make sure you do a back stitch at the start. When you get to the point where your zipper foot is, what you'll want to do is just slide it out of the way, and then we'll move it again when it comes up again. So just reach under, move it out of the way. Get it? Okay, so now that we've finished sewing all across, what we're going to do, as you can see, it's starting to look like a bag. We're going to turn it this way, the right way, and just iron it to make this flat so that it's easier when we sew on the other piece. We're also going to eventually top stitch this, so you're going to need to sew it either way. Or sorry, yeah, you're going to need to iron it either way, so might as well just get it over with. Okay, now we're going to assemble the other side of the bag. So what you're going to want to do is once again get your PUL, your pull fabric, and put the plasticky side facing up. Then get the portion that we just sewed with the zipper on it, and again we're going to line up the zipper to the top. You're going to want to make sure that the printed that the outside of the fabric that's going to be on the outside is up. The zipper, you'll notice, is on the other side this time. So that's another way you can make sure you're doing it right. And then you're going to get your exterior piece and place it on top, line up the edges, and again pin all the way across. Okay, you're going to want to do the same thing, sew across, and just make sure you move the zipper foot as we get to that point. Okay, so we're coming up on the zipper tab, so what you're going to want to do is put your needle in, lift up the foot, and then you can much easier slide it than how I was wrestling with it earlier. So you put your foot back down and then just finish sewing it all the way to the end. Okay, so you can see we've sewed all the way around on the edge. And now it's starting to look like our bag that we're going to want. So the outside, here's the zipper, and here's the lining. So now what we need to do is we need to top stitch right along these two edges just to give it a clean look, and see how it's kind of bubbling up. That'll prevent it from bubbling up. It'll give a nice flat finish. Okay, so when you top stitch, you're going to want to make sure you have your zipper fully exposed on both sides with the PUL and the exterior fabric like this. You don't want to top stitch it with your zipper inside, because then you'll actually not have a bag that opens. So just open your fabric up like this, and then we're going to top stitch down both sides. It's actually easier if you sew with the pull fabric on top, just because it does have the plastic lining, so it doesn't really want to slide across your sewing machine as easily as a regular cotton fabric would. Okay, so So now we need to sew our strap. If you want to make a strap that is in two pieces that has a cam snap in the middle, that is a great idea also, so that it can easily snap and unsnap onto, you know, a stroller or a waistband or something along those lines. But I'm just going to show you how to make a regular wrist strap. So we already ironed our fabric, and now what you're going to do is along the open seam, you're just going to, near the edge, maybe about 1/4 of an inch inseam, you're just going to sew all the way down. And you're going to want to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Even though the other side is already closed, you're just going to want to do it to reinforce the strap. Okay, so now that we have our bag with the top stitching, what you're going to want to do is take so everything's attached, but you're going to want to open the zipper at least halfway, and then take the two exterior pieces and line those up, and take the two interior pieces and line those up. And then what you're going to want to do is, since you can peek inside and see that the zipper, if it were closed all the way, would have the pull tab on this side. So what you're going to want to do is take the strap that we made, and you're going to want to make sure it's on the same side as the zipper when it's all the way closed. And what that's going to do is just make sure that you know, when the bag's hanging from somewhere, it's easy to unzip it. You're not you know, fighting gravity. So what we're going to do, like I showed you, line all these up. Take your strap. We're going to put it inside, and we're going to leave a piece hanging out right there. You can put it as far down as you like. I like putting it about an inch or so from the zipper. And then line up all the pieces, and what you're going to want to make sure is that the bottom of the zipper, we got to open it back up. Make sure, like I said, your zipper is at least halfway open. And then you're going to want to make sure that the zipper teeth are facing in towards the lining. As long as you do that, then everything will line up just fine. So make sure that the zipper teeth are pointed down toward the lining. Close it back up. You have your strap inside, and then you have your exterior fabric lined up and your interior fabric lined up. We're going to pin all the way around, and we're going to actually leave about a 4 to 5 inch opening on the bottom of the lining, and that's where we're going to turn our bag inside out, and so that we get a nice clean finish all the way around on the outside. Okay, so now it's pinned all around, so let's go take it to the machine and sew all the way around the edge. And like I said, we're going to leave about a 5 inch opening on the lining part, so just make sure you remember that. For this, you're going to leave about a 3/8 inch to 1/2 inch seam allowance. So now we're almost back at the beginning where we started. We're just going to remember to leave the small opening so that we can turn the entire bag inside out. Just do a back stitch and then remove your bag. Okay, so you're going to now want to turn everything inside out. So go through that opening you made and just pull your bag right through. It'll start looking like a real bag. Here's the lining, so you kind of want to just push the lining inside the bag. Make sure you fill out the corners. Just so we can see it, we're going to have to pull the lining back out to finish it, but you can see how it's starting to look. Zipper looks good. And the strap looks good. Everything's looking good. So what we need to do now is just close that hole in the lining. So you'll see when you pull it back out, you're going to want to just fold it in like this and do a tiny top stitch across that opening, just so that we make sure that it's closed, so that it doesn't, if there's a hole right at the bottom, it's not going to be very good for making it waterproof anyway. So we're just going to want to fold in the two pieces, and like I said, just do a small stitch right over that opening, and then we'll be done. Make sure you go all the way to the end. The opening ends right here, so we're going to want to make sure we go just a little bit past it. And do a back stitch. Cut your thread. So let's cut these loose threads over here, and while we have the lining out and see everything clearly. Okay, so we put the lining back in. Just going to make sure all the corners are popped out. And then you can see when we zip it up, there's a couple loose threads. Let's just snip those off. Check around, make sure there's no other loose threads. Okay, so you can see our bag is now finished. It's perfectly lined. We have our strap that we can hang from the stroller, or we can hang it from the car or the car seat or wherever you're going to be hanging it. It's fully lined, completely water resistant, waterproof. And hopefully you're going to give this one a try. It's pretty easy. You can see I made it in about 30 minutes. Actually, it might have taken even a little less. This is great for diapers, cloth diapers. It's also really good for bringing a spare change of clothing. We like to bring them to the beach for bathing suits after we change. If you have any questions, please contact us. We actually have a Facebook group. It's facebook.com/groups/CC Fabrics. You can go in there, you can post questions. You'll see a lot of people hopefully making this bag, making some of our other video tutorials. So come over there, join the fun. And also if you have any questions about the fabric or materials that were used, you can ask us there as well. Have a great day and happy sewing.